unicorns, and welcome back to my channel. If this is the first time that you're on my channel, I'm Vanessa and I, and welcome to the fam. So you guys, today's pick a card reading is all about the amazing news, the amazing blessings that are coming for you in April of 2020. So even though the situation on the planet that we inhabit is a little weird to say the least, that is not going to inhibit us on this channel from figuring out exactly what blessings are right before us that we might not be able to see. So in order to help you figure out more about these blessings and more about the great news that is here for you in April, I have prepared 4 groups that you can choose from, and I would like you to pick one of these 4 groups intuitively. So the 4 crystals that you can choose from are as follows. We have the pale pink Dolomite, we have the Cyanite, we have the Labradorite, as well as the Shiva Lingam. But not to worry, each group is going to have a little close-up of the stone during the individual readings, and I will also be using my pendulum in each reading. So I'm focusing on having these readings turn out very intuitive, but at the same time making them as exciting as I possibly can. Because who doesn't like to receive an exciting reading? Certainly not me. So anyways, you guys, I want to get into the readings, and I'm going to be starting off with the first group, which corresponds to the pale pink Dolomite, and to all my other groups, I will catch you at the click of your timestamp. Hello, group number 1, and welcome to your reading. So you chose the pale pink Dolomite, which I'm going to do a quick close-up of. This is such a gorgeous gem, absolutely beautiful. So nice choice, group number 1. Let's get into your reading to figure out exactly what blessings are coming for you in April of 2020. So we have the fixed moon as well as the 3rd quarter moon. Okay, so one thing that I see here in the fixed moon is that part of your blessing requires you to hold on to the vision that you have right now. So group number 1, you may have an idea of how you want something to turn out in your career, in your love life, and it's important for you to have that laser sharp focus on the outcome, okay? Not how you're gonna get there, the outcome. I can see here in the 3rd quarter moon that part of the blessings is just the fact that through adjusting, you will be able to achieve more than you had expected or more than you have even wanted. So do you know when you want something and you kind of didn't expect to get more than what you were asking for or wishing for, but it still happens? I see that there is a great possibility for that as long as you remain focused, as well as just like adjust your mindset a little bit. April may have been a little flat so far, or you may have felt a little down, a little stir crazy. We got to turn that around, group number 1. Then we have the Queen of Pentacles, we have Temperance, we have the Tower, as well as the 5 of Pentacles. Okay, so we have 2 cards here that correspond to Pentacles, the 5 of Pentacles as well as the Queen of Pentacles, which just is kind of an indicator that these blessings have to do with your work life, okay? And one thing that I see here in the 5 of Pentacles, that it may have to do maybe with a coworker, somebody that you didn't particularly like. It could also be your boss. It could be somebody in the field that you work in, okay? And one thing that I see here is that you kind of don't need to be so close to them anymore, okay? So that may have to do with the fact that maybe they're leaving, maybe they're being kicked out, maybe they're quitting, but either way, that kind of like emotional turmoil that you have when you're around them is not something that you're going to have to put up with any longer, group number 1. So I really hope that you're looking forward to that. Sorry, I kind of got my pendulum stuck in my little amethyst ring. So if you're looking forward to that, that is of course something good, but at the same time for them, I see here in the Tower that of course, you know, things are kind of falling apart. Things are never going to be the same, but let's focus on your aspect and the blessings coming for you. In the Queen of Pentacles, I see kind of like the possibility of starting something in your career that can very kind of really amazing fruit, if you will. Okay, so planting the seed for something that you can nurture and actually benefit from in the future. So I see here in the Queen of Pentacles that you have a bit of a magic touch in April, if you will, to create something out of nothing financially, as well as to kind of like start up your own business. Okay, so if that is something you've been looking to do, April may be a great time. Let's figure out exactly how, you know, the universe feels about this, group number 1. We are kind of zooming in on free will as well as not known. Okay, so I want you to know that it is completely up to you whether you go for this or not, okay? Whether you go for this career choice or not. But at the same time, you can't expect to receive a sign or an answer prior to you actually having made the first step, into a new project or into a new part of your career. You can't expect to know that it will work out before you have tried, because oftentimes we're waiting for this big grand sign that something great is coming, and that sign just never comes because often you have to make the first step without knowing. It's a leap of faith for a reason. If you knew that you would be caught on a soft blanket or pillows, then of course you would take the leap. But that's why it's a leap of faith, because you don't know what awaits you. So then we have Bridget as well as Green Tara. We have Cernunnos as well as Krishna. Okay, so one thing that I see here in Bridget is the fact that as kind of like a blessing for you, I see this kind of wholeness, you moving back into wholeness. And one thing that I see is that it really has to do with this person that made you feel maybe inferior, that purposely was maybe kind of bullying you or mean to you when it comes to your workplace, when it comes to your career, somebody who was just inherently unsupportive, okay? And them kind of moving out of your space, I see that that is something that brings you wholeness, which of course, group number one, I just want to point out that wholeness is something that you need to learn to cultivate independently of any other energetic entities. But of course, people can just affect us in the best or worst ways. In Cernunnos, one thing that I see here is that your kind of sensual powers are increased in April. I want you to know that this is a blessing for you. Maybe things have been a little dry recently in your love life, but I see that things are moving back towards an exciting time, okay? So of course you have to stay safe. Of course you shouldn't risk your health, but also know that exploring your sexuality is something that you don't always need another person for, okay? Sometimes you just need to do some things just completely by yourself. Okay, so we're kind of zooming in on the fact that you just need to kind of maybe consider something new, okay, when it comes to your love life. Consider a new person, consider a new kind of relationship, consider trying something that is different. Something where, if your partner brings up, hey, should we try this? And you're like, maybe. Know that if you answer with maybe, which is what the pendulum was kind of drawn to, then that is the right journey for you, okay? So anything that you feel like you have to answer with a maybe because you're a little too shy or a little too scared to just say yes, do it, okay? Take that leap. Then in the Green Tara, one thing that I see here is that a great blessing for you in April of 2020 is that you're divinely protected. So this may be something that you needed to hear, something to give you peace of mind during this time. So you know how there's divine intervention, divine timing, how if you would have showed up somewhere a second later or a second earlier, your life would have been completely different potentially, okay? And one thing that I see here in Krishna is that no matter what happens, no matter what incidents you become a part of, I want you to know that, this is kind of like life guiding you to your purpose. Sometimes we experience really, heavy trauma, heavy situations that we may have not experienced were we just there a little later or a little earlier. That could be a big fight with somebody, that could be a car accident, that could be hurting yourself going skiing or snowboarding, that could be an accident when traveling, just a situation where you're like, wow, if I was just a little earlier or a little later, things may have been completely different. But sometimes things happen in order to kind of show you how strong you are, in order for you to be somebody who is a light in this world, who represents these people who have had life divinely intervene, but they're still thriving, they're still doing life, they're still kicking butt. So I want you to know that either way that this divine intervention works for you, you have to just go with it. You have to know that it is part of your life path in April, okay? But you are divinely protected, so you're most likely going to show up just too late to something happening that seems at first like, a big shock. You're going to show up just a minute after, for instance, people would have almost collided on bicycles or in traffic. You're going to just make that decision last minute to stay in instead of go out, and there may have been a really bad storm, or there may have been kind of like danger out, if you know what I mean. But yes, you are divinely protected in April, so that is the amazing blessing as well as news for you. Don't take it lightly. Know that being protected is something that is just comforting, something that you should enjoy, and just allow yourself to go with the flow and know that everything's going to be okay. So group number 1, this is the reading that I received for you for April of 2020, as well as the blessings coming for you. I really hope that you enjoyed it, that it gave you peace of mind and was insightful. Let me know down in the comment section what really hit home, and I will see you in one of my upcoming readings. Hello, group number 2, and welcome to your reading. So you chose the Cyanite, which is just such a gorgeous gem. I absolutely love its like baby blue color. It's just beautiful. So I want to move straight into your reading to figure out exactly what blessings are coming towards you in April. So we have the full moon eclipse as well as the south node. So one thing that I see here in the full moon eclipse is that you will come to a conclusion about something that has been annoying you for a long time, okay? It could be the conclusion of a friend and whether they're there for you or not. It could also be a conclusion of, okay, I'm not going back to work after sitting at home for the next few weeks. I'm not going to show up anymore at that school, during these times because it's just not for me. I've just concluded that after I've had time to really step back, take a moment for myself, I know what's right for me, and it is not that person, it is not that job, it is not this form of education. I can see here in the south node that you have to kind of detach from the past. Of course, we evolve, okay? Who you were a few months ago is not who you are today, and sometimes you're still holding on to ideas that you have of yourself, that you had of yourself a while back, and you think that you still need to fulfill those ideas. But let me tell you what, group number 2, you evolve, you change, and those ideas of who you are should change simultaneously. So we have cards that are obviously speaking for themselves here within your reading, so let's look into them. We have the Princess of Wands, the Knight of Wands, we have the 8 of Swords, as well as the Ace of Swords. Okay, so we have a lot of phallic energy. What is phallic energy? That is masculine energy. You see how we have wands, you see how we have swords. You can see what I mean with masculine energy, group number 2. So one thing that I see here in the Knight of Wands as well as the Princess of Wands, putting yourself into a situation in April with other people who are very creative is going to birth an amazing idea or an amazing little project in order to just channel more creativity or pass time, okay? So don't be afraid to reach out to friends, phone them up, say like, hey, why don't we try this challenge? Why don't we try finally painting this photograph, or whatever it is that you've always wanted to do, sketching something, maybe you wanted to create a business together, maybe you just wanted to talk about something for a long time. And in April of 2020, I definitely see here that when you spend time connecting with others over the phone, of course, you come up with amazing new ideas, okay? I see mentally there is a lot of stimulation coming towards you, which is maybe not at all what you expected. Maybe you expected kind of dullness, maybe you expected kind of things to move into a spot where you feel stir crazy, but I definitely see that, there's a lot going on here mentally. So I see that it's very important for you to be open-minded to different people. The Knight of Wands as well as the Princess of Wands, they're two very different figures, okay? So one thing that I see here is that you may want to even like introduce them to each other, okay? If there's somebody that you're interested in when it comes to love, or there's somebody that you're with but they haven't met like a certain part of your family, a certain part of your friend circle, I see that it would be beneficial to speak more about them highly, of course. Okay, so one thing that I see here is that, okay, they are not yet ready, okay? So one thing that I see here is that part of the blessings is just that you're ready, your camp is ready, but they are not yet ready, okay? So maybe hold off a little bit, maybe give them just a few weeks, 1 or 2, 3 weeks maybe of time, but try and bring all of your camps closer together. Be a team builder, okay? Don't be the kind of person who just needs all the attention on them. Well, you're probably not like that anyways, but don't be the person who just has like single friends, single entities everywhere. Not everybody's meant to have a group or a squad, I get that, but don't be shy to sometimes bring people together, you know, to talk more about your friends, your family, and just kind of like make that interchangeable. Don't just stick to one person at a time. Feel free to invite, for instance, you know, friends onto a phone call that don't know each other or only briefly know each other, and just merge that into a fun time together. Have different personalities be together. I see that building something, building kind of like a team, forming new relationships is really what is going to bring you to a point where you feel like, wow, you know, I'm somebody that has more social skills, more social qualities than I ever expected. As I can see here in the 8 of Swords that there's a sign coming towards you when it comes to, you know, just like where you're at mentally. So if you're right now really confused on what to do with a friend, somebody that you're in a situationship with, maybe a family member, it would be very helpful to just talk to somebody who is more neutral about it, talk to somebody who maybe knows them or who would be open to having a little conversation with them in order to solve things, okay? Then we have Hilarion, we have Kalima, we have Commander Ashtar as well. Oh, no, we have Kuan Yin actually hiding under that card. So one thing that I see here in Kuan Yin is that one of the amazing blessings coming for you is just the fact that there's a lot of love and compassion around. So love and compassion just has this kind of like warm, cozy feeling of an embrace. And I want you to know here in Commander Ashtar that you kind of have to lead by example in everything that you do. You're being given more love as well as just empathy in April because people want to fuel you up to do the right thing. People want to fuel you up for you to lead by being the amazing example that we all know you can be. So it does have to do with facing fears. That is one thing that I see in Kalima, okay? I see here that yes, there are some things that you're going to have to like step up to the plate to, but in Hilarion, I see that as long as you kind of like honor that sensitive side of yours, but don't let it get in the way, that is the best possible thing you can do for yourself in April of 2020. And I see here that taking time to retreat, recharge, and heal. I see here that the light that you have can support others, but if your light is kind of like low, if your light has been dimmed because you're not giving yourself enough time to just rest and sleep and really mentally recuperate, then how are you supposed to do anything for others? You know, it's impossible. So let's see what you need to do here. Okay, Pendulum, what are we? How do we feel? So, free will. Free will. Group number 2, it is completely up to you how you want to spend time in just a recreational kind of space, okay? It's completely up to you. Do you want to just sleep? Do you just want to watch Netflix? Do you just want to watch YouTube videos? Do you want to watch more pick a card readings? However you feel like, you know, you're relaxed and you're able to just take that deep breath. I see that the true blessing here for you in April is that it is completely up to you how you get back to your equilibrium, how you get back to that strong foundation of feeling good about yourself and your life. So don't discriminate. Know that for each person, it's a different way in which they come to a point where they feel balanced and good again. So I definitely see here that you have time for that, that you can make time for that. So have this be a priority. Build your team, build your kind of connections around you, and take a lot of time for yourself to sleep, to eat, to be outdoors, whatever makes you feel like you're at a better spot than when you started out. That is what you need to engage in. And I definitely see here that you have the means, you have the time you're close by to wherever it is that you need to do this. And furthermore, you know, you just have to kind of overcome the fear of doubt. You kind of have to overcome the fear of, oh, you know, maybe I shouldn't sleep so much. Maybe I shouldn't watch so much of this movie. Maybe I should be productive. No, group number 2, the blessing here in April is that you don't have to be productive. What you need to do is just take time to breathe, is just take time to kind of get yourself out of a rut that you've been in and heal. Really, really take time to heal. So group number 2, this is the reading that I received for you. I really hope you enjoyed it. I hope that you found it insightful. Let me know down below in the comment section what hit home, and I will see you in one of my upcoming readings. Hello, group number 3, and welcome to your reading. So you chose the Labradorite, which is just such a gorgeous gem that glistens in all kinds of shades of blue. But I want to move into your reading to figure out exactly what blessings are coming for you. So let's just point this in your direction. So let's see what's up for you in April. We have the cardinal moon as well as the full moon in Capricorn. So one thing that I see here in the cardinal moon is that being bold and making the first move is going to come to a point where you're like, wow, that was a great idea. I should have done that. So I definitely see success when it comes to that. I see here in the full moon in Capricorn that the end of a cycle of doubt is approaching, okay? So just more confidence and being able to make that first step without feeling awkward, without feeling like, oh, maybe I shouldn't do it. Maybe I'm going to get rejected, because I see here that the outcome is clearly favorable. If not, we wouldn't be sitting in this blessings video talking about it. So give yourself the benefit of the doubt to make the first move, okay? Be it in love or in your career, personal life, so on and so forth. In the Knight of Wands, I definitely see that in correlation to somebody in love, making the first move is going to have an outcome that will give you more clarity. So a favorable outcome is not always basically like the outcome that you wanted. Sometimes you really want to be with somebody, but then you look back after like a year, 2 years, and you think to yourself, thank God I didn't get with them. Thank God they ghosted me, or thank God it just didn't work out like that because I'm at so much of a better place in my life, or I didn't even realize that I'm somebody who is not compatible with that person, okay? So I want you to know that the favorable outcome is the one that serves you, that you're moving towards in April. So then we have the Hierophant. So in the Hierophant, I definitely see like an increase in spiritual energy as well as just spiritual knowing, okay? So the Hierophant is all about that side of you that is like, yeah, into pick card readings, that's into spirituality, that's into all of these things that make you think a little bit beyond boundaries, okay? So one thing that I see here is that it's important for you to not overwhelm yourself when it comes to that, okay? One thing that I see here from the pendulum is the fact that you are at the point that you need to be at right now spiritually. Don't overexert your energy. Don't feel like you need to know everything about each moon phase, about each zodiac sign. Like you have to be able to read an entire tarot deck. It's good to give yourself the time required in order to allow information to sit, to process, and to really ingrain into you, which is what I see happening in April of 2020. Then we have Saint Germain as well as Lady Portia. So in Saint Germain, one thing that I see here as a blessing is the release of drama, the release of kind of like, you know, karmic energy that no longer served you. I see here that you will be able to create your own path when it comes to that. So releasing drama may have been something that was done on another person's terms. So if you had drama with somebody, the release of it kind of came from them. But I see that you can now release any kind of feeling of drama independently. You don't need their blessing. You don't need them to say, this argument or this problem is over. You just emotionally remove yourself from the situation, which is a blessing, which is because you're in control, okay? Which means that you can remove yourself out of a situation that is emotionally tormenting you, that is emotionally destructive to you without needing anybody else. You just do it yourself. In Lady Portia, one thing that I see here is that you have to do what you feel is right, okay? People are going to be tugging you at all ends. You're going to not really be sure what route to go down in April, but it's important for you to know that sometimes you just have to go with what you feel is right, even if that is something that, say, your parents would not tell you to do, if that is maybe something that your best friend would not tell you to move forward on. And often they are just trying to protect us, but at the same time, you don't really regret the things that you tried. You regret the things that you ended up not trying, that you ended up being too afraid to try. And then we have Paul the Venetian as well as Radha. So one thing that I see here in Radha is the fact that your soul flame is being reignited in April of 2020. I see here that you will be able to experience more harmony in your relationships, probably because of this, release and karma, this release in any kind of drama that is around you, which is then, of course, in turn going to benefit your current relationships that you want. One thing that I see here is that you kind of have to be okay with the unknown, okay? I see that part of your relationships are going to still be in the dark, okay? So that could be a situationship. It could also be something that you have always wanted to know about a best friend or a parent, how they truly feel, but you kind of have to be okay with the unknown. You kind of have to be okay here with just embracing them and loving them unconditionally. As I can see here in Paul the Venetian, that what really needs to be done in April is for you to just kind of share your gifts. I see here that you have a lot of waves of inspiration coming towards you, and in order to not allow those to build up into a lot of energy that is just pent up, you have to let it out, okay? You have to kind of like allow yourself to be creative, allow yourself to love, especially if you haven't loved in a long time, or if you haven't allowed yourself to love because you don't want to be hurt. I see that a blessing of April is that just expressing yourself freely, loving the way you want to love, showing friends, family, maybe even a loved one in the romantic sense more love. I see that that is going to have a lot of a beneficial, warm-hearted outcome. Then we have the full moon in Libra. So we have a win-win forecast. Whatever decision it is that you're mulling over, that you're thinking to yourself like, oh, I don't know what feels right, know that we have a win-win message here, which is an amazing blessing, which is something that, I mean, who doesn't want to hear that, okay? That we have a win-win forecast within your reading. So just kind of chill about it, okay? Don't stress out too much about decisions that you have been wanting to make. Then last but not least, we have the fixed moon. Just fixate on what you desire. Fixate on the good. I want you to know that worrying too much is just taking your gaze away from the things that you truly want in your life. So try and kind of stay like focused on success, on love, on personal development, on reaching, a certain physical goal. It's important for you to just stay fixed on that goal and not so much on whether you're making the right choice or not, okay? I see that blessings are coming for you when it comes to the outcome, okay? When it comes to decision making, because it's just a win-win. So why freak out? Why freak out, group number 3? There's absolutely no reason. Instead, focus on honing your skills when it comes to staying calm, when it comes to leaving, for instance, a meditation and maintaining that energy throughout the day. So group number 3, this is a reading that I received for you. I really hope that you enjoyed it and that you found it insightful. Let me know down below in the comment section what hit home the most, and I will see you in one of my upcoming readings. Hello, group number 4, and welcome to your reading. So you chose the Shiva Lingam, which is just such a gorgeous, like, pill-shaped gem. I think every household just needs a Shiva Lingam. It's just such an eye catcher. But I want to move into your reading to figure out exactly what blessings are coming for you in April of 2020. So we have the full moon in Sagittarius as well as the full moon in Aries. So one thing that I see here is that there's like a fiery climax that is approaching, okay? So this is maybe something that you've been wanting to come to a resolution for a while, something that you've kind of been like asking yourself, okay, when is this going to be done with? When is this going to be over with? And I definitely see here that there's going to be this climax, and you're going to know that, okay, after that, things are going to cool off, cool down, and move back into normality, okay? So here in the full moon in Sagittarius, you have to look at the bigger picture. The only way how you will be able to see blessings is by looking at the bigger picture, looking at, things from another point of view that you maybe did not consider otherwise. So you have to focus on your free will, okay? You have to focus on the things that are authentically you, not what society expects from you, not what your parents or your friends expect from you. Try to not please people, okay? Try to do what pleases you in April. I see that that is the most beneficial. It's very hard to actually not please those closest to us because often we don't even notice that that's how we're programmed. Just think to yourself, a lot of things in life, did you do them because you wanted to do them or because you wanted to please society, your parents, somebody close to you? Often it is, the latter, but let's move further into your reading. We have the King of Wands as well as the Eight of Wands. So we have very phallic energy. If you don't know what phallic energy means, that is masculine energy, okay? So in the Eight of Wands, I definitely see things getting done. I see as a blessing, potentially somebody coming into your life who has very strong masculine energy. But we have cards that want to speak further within your reading. We have the Ace of Swords, we have the Two of Pentacles, as well as the Eight of Swords. Okay, so in the Ace of Swords, one thing that I see here is you kind of like sparking up in somebody's mental space, somebody that you maybe didn't expect, somebody who is depicted in the King of Wands. This could be an Aries, a Leo, okay, somebody who has fiery energy, somebody who has phallic energy, masculine energy, and I see here that they're thinking about you a lot in April, which is a blessing for you because you have thought to yourself a lot here in the Eight of Swords, like, who is thinking about me? Who is into me? Who cares about me? Who is actually like worried and concerned for me and my safety? So I see you kind of coming to answers when it comes to that in April. I want you to know that they are thinking of you. You're on this person's mind, okay? And then the Two of Pentacles, I see here that part of the blessings for you in April is just rediscovering the balance between, your spare time, your work, being healthy and unhealthy, allowing yourself to have time to relax as well as productivity. So that is something that I see has been a little bit out of balance, but you have time to kind of readjust that. You have time to bring it back to a balanced spot in April. So use that time, okay? Because yes, you're moving towards understanding more how you function, how your body functions, and at what level or rate of work and, unhealthy versus healthy foods that you function best, both mentally and physically, but without actually like actively engaging in trying to better yourself. Of course, like progress is going to not be visible. Then we have the Miriam as well as Joan of Arc. So one thing that I see here in the Miriam is the fact that, you have to just choose to heal and kind of forgive. You have to choose to see the light in every situation. So one thing that I see here is that, somebody has wronged you. It's still kind of within your energetic field, okay? This may have even been like years ago, but what you really need to do is kind of let go of it, as I see that it is hurting a part of you, okay? And you need to know that love has no boundaries. Love for somebody that you really enjoy being with, as well as love for somebody that has wronged you, that has hurt you. So we kind of have free will here, okay, as well as we need to ask again, okay? So yes, it is your choice whether you want to forgive or whether you want to hold on to grudges. But I can tell you right now, forgiving is the best possible outcome for you. So yeah, but it has to come from your free will, okay? If you forgive begrudgingly, if you decide to say like, okay, I'll let go of it, but your heart isn't really in it, group number 4, it's this sort of discrepancy, this insincerity in one part of you is just going to, it's not going to work, okay? Energy doesn't lie. So keep the energy authentic. Even if you don't like somebody, even if you dare hate somebody, don't pretend that you feel otherwise. Work on those feelings, but don't say that you've forgiven when you haven't really, if you know what I mean, group number 4. That's like the worst thing that you can do for yourself. In Joan of Arc, one thing that I see here is that you have to kind of like just focus on your purpose, focus on the things that light you up. I see here that once you go away from fear of persecution and you just speak your truth, that is when you can really forgive, because it's out there. You're somebody who is vocal, you're somebody who needs to communicate, okay? That is one thing that I see in the Eight of Swords as well as the Ace of Swords. So when you bottle things up, they never really get worked on. They never really get they never really get the time of the day to be, how should I say, to come to a point where, yeah, you have forgiven. In order for you to forgive, you have to say how you feel out loud. You have to say it without fear of people judging you, because those are just your true and honest feelings. So focus on that in April. We have the new moon in Taurus as well as the new moon in Scorpio. Okay, so I definitely see here prosperity lying ahead, which is amazing news for you. That is obviously a blessing. Who does not like prosperity? But it's also very important for you, as I see here in the new moon in Scorpio, that you work through your fears. So just because you have prosperity coming towards you, just because you have some blessings coming your way, doesn't mean that you should become complacent when it comes to self-development. So I definitely see here that you have to look at the bigger picture. Don't just kind of like take the instant gratification and go out the door and leave. It's important for you to continuously focus on being better. If you hit your goal when it comes to, working out, eating healthily, changing your diet, a financial goal, then don't just say to yourself, okay, I did it. Prosperity is here, amazing, great. Continue to work on yourself. Continue to work on self-development. As one thing that I see is that it is important for you to actively engage in just, continuing to grow. I don't want you to stand still. We have a lot of phallic energy here, which comes with a lot of you naturally, feeling in April like you have energy, which is a blessing, which is amazing, like you can get things done. But at the same time, when you get things done, you also kind of feel like, okay, I did it, now I can chill. But I want you to use this energy in April to do more for the greater good of, the planet, for the greater good of your life, and to just make the most out of the energy that you have, to make the most out of the fact that you physically feel like you can get more done than in other months, okay? So use this blessing as much as you can. Use every last drop of it. So group number 4, this is a reading that I received for you. I truly hope that you enjoyed it and that you found it insightful. Let me know down below in the comment section what truly hit home for you, and I will see you in one of my upcoming videos.